When I first saw Robert's rendering, you always jump into it thinking it's impossible. For instance, I don't know if we can really do any kind of armor plating. You really have to open up your mind and think outside the box. The car's supposed to look like it has a lot of armor plating. A lot of it was choosing the color, choosing the texture. So we tried a few different samples. What we finally ended up deciding on was this right here. It looks more like an armor, and we can match it by going with the one-piece rivet. My favorite part about the whole building process is seeing something on paper and really trying to get it in reality. So for me, anytime you get a rendering, 2-3 days into it, you start thinking like, oh, you know, I think I really can do that. And I think that's just the best part of building anything. My favorite gadgets on the car, I would probably say is a cow catch, because I think it'd be pretty cool to run over a zombie. What we ended up doing is we had it at a V. It makes it a lot harder for anything to really get stuck on the front end of this car. We have these spikes. These are big enough to really just cut right through a zombie. They'll just plow right off to the side. We have our hitch right here. So if you get stuck, you can just wrap it around a tree and pull yourself out. Repairing and modifying this thing, it would be a little bit on the difficult side. Everything's kind of a one-off piece, so it's not like you can go to your local parts store and pick up your zombie disc cutter. I think the greatest aspect of this thing is, 1, it'll have bullets. 2, if you run out of bullets, you can just run them over with the cow catch. 3, you can chop their legs off with the wheel spikes. With the cow catch, if you can aim it the right way at them, then you just run them over and call it a day. The Elantra Coupe comes with the factory reverse camera. So we're actually going to use the camera to fire backwards with the hatch up so we can see what's going on behind us in case there's any zombies back there. We're definitely going to have to bend everything by hand. All these pieces were made here, and what we ended up doing is we followed Robert's exact pattern, but more to scale, so we couldn't run as many bars as he wanted. We ended up having to bend all the bars that he has on his rendering, going all the way across. So our end result was basically this piece right here, which fits just on the outside of the car to where we can mount it up on the top, and we should be able to mount it right on the bottom. That'll keep the zombies out. Basically, the wheels that we selected, they're forged aluminum, so they're really strong. The main purpose for the spike, it's really more of a getaway thing. Robert originally had this thing designed to where the spikes were really skinny. It's probably about a good 2.5 feet out from the original wheel. We made an adapter for our wheel spike, and we could basically screw the wheel spike on whenever we want. The best part about it is you can either trip them with the shaft of the spike, and in the process, you at least have the blade to do some damage as you're going away. So it's making it harder for the zombie to really get back up and try to come after you. One of the other features on the car that Robert added was a light bar. Most of the time you always stick with pairs, so you'll have 2 lights, 4 lights, 6 lights, but he did something different and he added 3 lights. Now our pop-up patch is a lot bigger, so we were forced to actually move the light bar farther forward and shorten the bars going to the front, just so that we can have big enough area for the pop-up patch. It'll be 2 doors. It'll split open sideways. The way that Robert originally designed the hatch, I think that's actually a really cool design. What we have planned for the interior of the car is the co-pilot is going to have in the glove box all the switches to control any kind of gizmo on here. What we're jumping into now is a lot of interior sheet metal work, using metal to actually plate the whole back section. So what we ended up doing was we removed the back seats so that way we can have an area for weapon storage, food storage, water, everything you need to survive. So for Robert not being a physics guy, he actually did a really good job on the drawing.